Hi, I'm Mindy Jones, and we talked about who to talk to and then how to connect with the people. And now we're going to talk about how to share the story. And Reliv is all about the stories. And we're going to talk specifically about how you can show Reliv through the tools and the stories, and how it's about connecting with people, not convincing. And I want to just share a real quick story because this is something that happened very recently with me. One of my very best friends from middle school called me after I was down in Florida recently, and she had just fallen and broken her hip, and she had 3 screws in her hip and was confined to a wheelchair for 2 months. And she had never been involved with Reliv, but she asked me, she said, is this something that Reliv will help me with the healing process? And I said, you know what, let me introduce you to somebody. So I actually started by connecting her with another person who had broken a bone, who had very, very quick healing. Then she liked what she heard that first time. Later that evening, we were doing a webinar where she actually got to hear the company, the products, and the opportunity. And it was wrapped around 5 great health and business stories. And at the end of her hearing that webinar, she said, oh my gosh, I wish I would have let my husband hear that. I wish he would have been here to hear the story. And I said, well, in 20 minutes, Reliv has a national conference call. And you can put it on speakerphone and let your husband hear that. So I called her back 20 minutes later, and they heard 4 great health stories, 4 great business stories. So she ended up becoming a distributor. Not only did she get on the products, but she came in as a master affiliate. So we very quickly scheduled a couple in-home presentations. Those are some of my most favorite ways to do Reliv. And I went down, and doing those 2 presentations, she had 18 people. We ended up registering 9 people by the end of the first month in the business. She sold $6,600 worth of product, and she came in second in the nation in a new bonus. And she earned $1,600. So I used all different types of stories. You know, the calls where you just connect somebody to a story on the phone, the webinar, she heard stories, and then the company conference call. And then, of course, when I went down there, she heard everything in person. How are you going to connect people? We've got all kinds of great tools with Reliv. We've got an incredible DVD that I absolutely love. We've got webinars. We've got the in-home presentations, which I already told you is one of my favorite ways to do Reliv. They're fun, they're casual, they're relaxed, and people just have such a good time. There's great Reliv presentations on Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings. You can do things online. You can actually go online and shoot somebody a 20-minute video showing the company, the products, the opportunity. There's tons of ways. Find what works for that person. But it's all about the stories. And there's other ways you can get stories too. We've got blogs, we've got the company conference call, we've got an incredible lifestyle magazine, but just putting stories in it, because really the stories are the reality. If you set the appointment and actually get one-on-one or 2-on-1 in front of somebody, the most important part about sharing that story is connecting with the person you're talking to. Finding out about them. Finding some common ground. Finding out about what their likes and their interests are. Finding out about, if you don't know them well, find out about their family or their occupation or what kind of recreation they like to do on the side. And then one of my favorite questions of asking people at the beginning of a presentation is, if you could change anything about your life right now, what would it be? And then I sit and I listen. And as I listen to people talk about what their dreams are and what their goals are or what their desires are, then I know that as I do the presentation, I can weave those things within the presentation as I'm presenting Reliv. As I start the presentation, one of the most important things I do is just share my story. You're going to share your story. Share it from your heart. Share it with conviction. And you know what? People can really relate to the stories. And then I'll go through the whole presentation. And I always try to show company, products, and opportunity, because I never know what people are interested in. I've had people that called me and said, hey, I want you to do a presentation for my friend, but I only want you to talk about the products. No, Reliv is a package deal, and I don't know what is in people's hearts, so I'm going to share the whole story and meet people where they are. And you want to keep it simple. Simple duplicates. You don't want to get too complicated. You don't want to get into too many facts or figures, but you want to weave stories amongst however you're sharing the story, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a one-on-one presentation, a 2-on-1 presentation, or whatever. You want to have the stories. The stories are the powerful thing. And you know what? You can go online right here, and there's all kinds of tools. Some of the ones that we've already talked about that you can just click on and check out a presentation or check out the DVD, check out the links that you can send to your friends.